You will never buy a product from us that won't have anything giving back to the community.
Guys, and welcome to another episode of the Mindset Podcast. Today we have two very special guests of ours, two very good friends of ours, Hugo and Sebastian, two amazing entrepreneurs that really faced adversity head on, especially during this pandemic. Their company, Novus X, is actually birthed out of this pandemic, and they're the ones sponsoring this episode. Just to talk a little bit on Novus X, they're a very innovative company coming out with new products every month, and for this month of June, they actually just came out with a antimicrobial technology phone case that it fights off bacteria, kills off germs, and it's shock-proof, very, very thin, I might say. I actually saw, like, we have it ourselves, me and Anthony, and these are, I'm a huge case guy myself. I love this case. It feels so good in your hand. And if you guys, you guys are going to tell us a little bit more about it, but towards the end of the episode, we're going to have a link in our bio. If you guys want to purchase this phone case, you guys can use the coupon code Mindset Podcast in all caps to get 10% off. And mind you, another very big thing I forgot to mention, Novus X with their innovative products are going to be donating a percentage of their proceeds to charitable organizations. This month of June, they're helping families that weren't able to sustain themselves. They're helping feed families during this COVID-19 pandemic. But without further ado, Hugo and Sebastian, it's an honor to have you guys on. Welcome.
What's up, guys? First of all, it's an honor to be here, and I'm happy to finally be able to reconnect with you guys after a long time.
What's up, guys? I'm Sebastian. Just want to give a big thanks for the invite. We're really happy to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have both of you. A little context. Gabriel and I, we played basketball with Hugo way back when in the good days in Stings, and we were ball players back then. So that's how we know each other, and then we got to know each other even better because all four of us here, we're entrepreneurs. We all have the same mindset of hustling, going forward. You know, something that Gabriel and I would say in a lot of our podcasts, I'm sure you both have heard us say it, is during this pandemic of COVID-19, yes, things are hard. Things are different. You have to adapt. You know, both of you, and you guys can elaborate now, you both had a business where in FSU, you guys it was a cleaning service, right? In the dorms, you would clean the dorms and whatnot. Obviously, due to the circumstances, that business failed and didn't go as planned. And you guys innovated, you guys adapted, and now we're here today on this podcast talking about your new invention, your new product. So why don't you all tell us a little bit about what this business is and what to expect every month?
So basically, Novus X will be a company, an e-commerce company, that will be releasing products, and alongside with each impactful and innovative product that we release, we're going to be using the success of the product to raise the community with it. We're going to have a charity campaign, like I said, linked with every product. And we do have big plans for the future.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about our first product. Our first product is a antimicrobial iPhone case. And what that means is our case reduces bacteria by 99.99%. And it does that because our case is layered with AG, which is silver, and on the periodic table, or scientifically proven, that kills 99.99% of bacteria. So we're pretty excited to release our first product, and it's pretty unique.
Yeah, let me tell you, Gabe and I, we've had it for a couple weeks now, and let me tell you, man, I love it. I'm a big fan of cases. I usually go for the slim look, for the thin look. I don't like those bulky cases, and I like clean and solid, man. Professional, nice looking. I've dropped it a few times and there hasn't been any problems, and it's so smooth. I was telling Gabriel today, man, I love holding this case because it's so soft. I can hold it all day, and it's perfect. I really like it, man. So I'm proud of you guys and what you guys have been able to accomplish there. Now, walk us through a little bit. I'm curious to know how this came about. Why this company? Why not do something else? Like, how were you guys able to go from a business that failed to now creating something that's showing the numbers? The numbers are showing that it's very successful. Walk us through that mindset, the process you all had to go from negative to positive.
So the 504 Cleaners was actually in New Orleans, and it's on pause right now. We're actually about to expand to FSU and hopefully UF as well. but like I said, it's on pause. So what I did was I used some of the capital for this company, which were profits from 504 Cleaners. And I was just thinking to myself, you know what, like I've had enough of Call of Duty. I need to do something. Like I'm itching to do something. And Gorge was always someone that I wanted to do business with because he's a very he really likes to think everything out and map everything out, and I like that. And I reached out to him and I texted him one day and I told him, look, I'm thinking about starting a new business. It's going to be an Amazon FBA business. Do you want to be in this with me? I like how you work. I like your mentality. And without ado, Gorge said, of course, I'm in. And at first, I'm not going to lie, it was countless hours of all-nighters searching for products, what we think is going to change the game. And it's very, very tough, especially during a pandemic. It's interesting and it's challenging. Now I say interesting because it's like a game of chess, right? There's a lot of factors that you have to move, and it all is going to add up to the victory, but you have to choose very wisely how you move your pawns. It all depends on what manufacturer you like. Are they verified for the technology? Partnering up with them so you could build brand trust. And it's very, very challenging as well, because a lot of factors such as they tell you your shipping day is, for example, we were told our shipping day for the cases was going to be May 20th. We ended up getting it because of the virus May 24th. So there's a lot of factors that you really have to adapt to during this pandemic, and it's very, very tough, but we managed to get through it. And Sebastian, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I want to talk about how we found our niche. We figured it out by thinking very thoroughly of what the world needs right now, especially during the time of the pandemic, and that's part of the research process. And we analyzed the markets of what people need through Amazon, through eBay, and different selling platforms, and what was selling well. And we came up with an antimicrobial case. We applied it. First we saw what antimicrobial was. I didn't know what it was. I don't think Hugo knew what it was either. And through there, we just did our research, and it's step-by-step processes, and that's how you find your next product. It takes time. A lot of people say it takes 2 weeks. We found our product within a week and a half, but we really grinded through and put our work through and put effort. And I don't care what anybody says, it takes a lot of work, dedication, and you have to love what you're doing. And that's how we found our first product, which is the antimicrobial iPhone case. We picked the iPhone case because it's something that everybody uses every day, everybody touches. And some fun facts, well, kind of disgusting, but your iPhone case regularly is dirtier and scientifically proven dirtier than a toilet. And that's why we decided to choose the iPhone case. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. And also, on that note, I don't just like you guys because you guys are cool guys, and we played ball for a while, but I have a lot of respect for you, and Gabe and I were talking about this earlier, because you guys were able to create a business during a pandemic. You know, the majority, I think if you look at the world, most businesses are closing, if anything, or shrinking and downsizing. You guys went the opposite way, and that's something Gabe and I talk about as well. A pandemic such as the one that we're in right now is not the time to relax, go on a vacation, we'll put the business on hold. Now is the time to step on the accelerator and go 1,000 miles. While people are going backwards, we're going forward. That's what entrepreneurs do. That's what we're made to do, right? So that's why I got a lot of respect for you guys. I mean, you guys created an amazing product, and you will continue to create amazing products out of a bad situation. So I got a lot of respect for both of you on that.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And like you were saying, it was very tough, but as Sebastian was saying, you have to love what you do, because if you don't love what you do, you're not gonna wake up in the morning and be like, what problem am I gonna solve today, right? Basically what we did was we asked ourselves, what's a problem in today's world? And the problem was people don't realize how dirty their phone cases really are, or their phones if you don't have a case. And the solution was an microbe fighting technology case. And it actually turned out to be a very successful product. And we want to raise awareness of how dirty your phone really is.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, me and Anthony always talk, and like Anthony said, there's so many businesses really shutting down right now. And honestly, your product couldn't have come at a better time. You know, like you said, it solves the problem that we're all dealing with right now. I mean, you just spit some facts that I had no idea. I'm literally on this thing all the time, and like it just, you know, I'm shocked at how dirty it could be. You know, and not only that, to mention that you're backing, some organizations to really help people during this pandemic is another reason, that you wake up and do what you do because you love helping people. You know, as
Yeah.
someone that has started businesses before, it's really tough. You know, a lot of people, me and Anthony talk about this all the time. A lot of people start businesses for all the wrong reasons. You know, yeah, it's profitable, or it could get me recognized, it could get me on 30 under 30, whatever the case is. Like, there's all these reasons why a lot of people get into business, and I think you guys are a perfect testimony of why people should be entrepreneurs, why you should get into business. Because when everyone is going backwards, like Anthony said, you guys are going forward, and you guys are not only coming out with a product that can potentially help our community, but you're also really helping the community within your organization, within the organizations that you guys are helping. And that's really amazing just to be a part of.
Yeah. Like I said, we want to lift our community. Right now, all you see on the news is bad news after bad news after bad news. And me and Sebastian were talking one night, and we were like, all right, how do we make this situation into good news? And we did our research. We searched up a couple of charities, and we thought to ourselves, you know what? There's a lot of people struggling right now during this pandemic, and they deserve better. So we should use the success of our product to give back to them.
So, Sebastian, I'm curious to know from your perspective. I know it's interesting because we're so alike. Like me and Gabe and you guys, we're so alike in the sense that we both partnered together. We both have the same mindset. All of us do. Sebastian, I'm curious to know how important is it to have Hugo as a partner? Like, in other words, would you be able to do what you guys are doing if you were to do it by yourself? Or, in other words, what Gabe and I do, what Gabe is good at is what I'm bad at. What I'm good at is what Gabe's bad at. So we complement each other perfectly. I can't do everything. I know that, and I admit it. That's why I need a Gabe to come along with me to do this. I'm wondering, is that the same situation for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do this company without Hugo. Based on like his previous company, 504 Cleaners. I saw from there as evidence that he's proactive, he's motivated, and he pushes. I think we complement each other pretty well. If I'm not feeling the best one day and I'm not pushing myself, he pushes me. He's like, yo, we're going to have to push and do like a 6-hour, 10-hour day tomorrow and actually grind. And that's what I find really important, especially as entrepreneurs. You need that push to actually succeed in making your company. And I find that I can't do this company without him, and I hope he feels the same way. I think we both push each other, and we have our strengths and weaknesses. And yeah, we complement each other pretty well. I'd say he has more of the connection side, and he helps a lot with connecting people. Like, for instance, you guys. I wouldn't be on here without you guys or without him, because he knows you guys and has connections.
Yeah, I agree. That's why it's so important especially when you're looking at a business from a business standpoint, to get a right partner, because that can also be like what takes you to the next level, but also what takes you down to the next level. So I think you guys are perfect partners. You guys have proven it, and I just want to know. That's interesting.
Now, Anthony and I always talk about having really like a strong circle. We ever since high school, I'm sure you guys can agree, we don't have a lot of friends. At least I don't. The friends that I do have really build me up, and our partnership, and I'm sure you guys can agree. We, like you said, build each other up. We're always one step ahead. Like Sebastian said, one day that Anthony's not feeling too well, I'm there to really pull him up, and vice versa. Me and Anthony, we have a lot of conversations that have nothing to do with business. They could be doing with personal life, and we just speak life into each other's situations. And we always say that his losses are my losses, and my wins are his wins, and vice versa. And it's perfect that we're building our community within entrepreneurs with you guys, because again, there's not really too many of us. And it's really it's good to have, more partners in our circle, in our network, that we can always rely on. But my next question to you guys, I know you guys mentioned it a little bit, especially starting off this business in this pandemic. But what are some challenges? What were some really pain points that you guys had to overcome during this pandemic specifically? If you guys could go into detail just to tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So Basically, the first challenge we had experienced was we were told, I don't know if you guys have seen our packaging, it comes in a black box. We were told that the box was going to come the 24th and we were going to have the cases the 24th. So we planned to get the cases, put it in the package, and have everything ready to go. The boxes ended up getting delayed a couple of days. And the first challenge to us was, all right, how do we spend these days waiting for the boxes? Do we just wait and we won't be prepared for when we launch? Or do we find these 3 days to be productive? And we thought to ourselves, all right, let's take courses on LinkedIn. Let's do research about Amazon. Let's see how we can, there's always a way you can prepare yourself better for the situation. And I feel like that's exactly what we did. And we actually found out a lot of information we didn't know because we did choose to prepare. And if you just stay there waiting and waiting and waiting, you're not really going to get anything accomplished. You always have to think, all right, how do I make the best out of this situation? It sucks and it's tough, but how do you make the situation better? And you have to keep your head up. That's the most important thing, I believe. Sebastian, do you want to speak about the other challenges?
Yeah, so another challenge that I think we faced was delays and waiting on the phone for a long time, or not be able to meet up with somebody because of stores being closed, like storefronts being closed, and half capacity of employees being able to actually help us with things. Like say, for example, again with the boxes, we couldn't get a reach of the people that were selling us the boxes, the manufacturer, because they had half the people and probably double the amount of people calling, because more entrepreneurs are starting e-commerce business, and so they're probably more busy. So that was another challenge that we faced, was delays due to people not being in the offices helping us.
You know, that's awesome. So I think from what you guys are telling me is you all learned two very valuable things that, believe it or not, is the thing that gets entrepreneurs stuck from starting, right? Number one, patience. Like if you put two different people in your position, they probably would have lost their patience and would have been like, yo, screw this, I'm out. It doesn't work. You know, they blame the manufacturer, this guy, that guy. It's everybody's fault but themselves, right? So that's something that you guys learn how to overcome and deal with. And number two is, in entrepreneurship, you guys know, Hugo, you know, Sebastian, you know, we know that things don't go as planned. That's just how it is, right? Entrepreneurship is not a straight line. It's a crooked, it got bridges, it got holes, it got potholes. It's not a straight line to entrepreneurship, right? So that's another lesson that you all learn and that all entrepreneurs have to face at some point in their lives. So those are two great lessons, but people just don't have that mindset of keep going and pushing towards that, right? So your case has a lot of different cool aspects to it, right? It's thin, it's slick, it's nice looking, it has, protects against germs. If you can pinpoint one thing out of those cool things, or maybe something I didn't mention, one thing that separates you from the competition, right? Something that you guys, I'm sure, are facing is that you have, quite frankly, a lot of competition. I mean, there's thousands of phone cases out there. What's one thing that separates your phone case from everybody else's? Why should our viewers buy yours and not another case?
So what makes our case unique is not only that it has the soft microfiber lining inside, it's thin, it has silicone, so it has a nice feel. But like I said, the most important factor is that there's not really a lot of antimicrobial cases right now. There's only one other competitor. But not even that. The other case, I think ours is better because not only is it the feel of ours and the thinness of ours, but you're giving back to the community, one. And two, the price is a lot more affordable. Our competitor sells their antimicrobial cases at $39.99, I believe. And ours is $24.99. And on top of that, like you did, you get the little card that tells you had just provided 7 meals for families struggling right now. So I feel like it's the satisfaction of doing a good deed as well as receiving a better product overall. It's just a win-win situation, I believe. If you have anything to elaborate on that, Sebastian.
Well, I completely agree. With the component of you actually helping somebody in need, it separates us from other companies. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's a purpose to that. Instead of just buying a case just for yourself, you're getting something in return and helping somebody out as an outcome.
And you're also being aware.
Absolutely. That's one thing that, first of all, I never buy anything or rep anything, much less sponsor something that I don't myself like or enjoy, right? I don't get up here in front and say, this is a great product. And inside, I don't like it. I hate it, right? So just having you guys on, Gabe and I, we love it. We really do it. It's sincere. I mean, we've had this for quite a while now, and I love it. I'm in love with the case, and people have asked me where I've gotten it. Of course, I refer them to you guys. One thing, when I did open the package, when I got it, was the detail that you guys put into the small little things, the small details, right? Gabe and I, we preach, I mean, we talk about it a lot of if you want to be successful, if you want to have a good brand, a good product, you got to focus on the small details. So many of these big brand corporations, your competitors, that might be big brands, they don't really care about the small details. They just think about the money and whatnot. But what I really liked about you guys is the small details. The ribbon that wraps the case, the box, the little card that shares with you your mission statement. That's super cool. Gabe and I, when we opened that, we're like, damn, these guys really care. Like, they're legit. So that's something that really stands out to me compared to your competitors.
Glad to hear that. We're really happy. That's exactly what we wanted as someone who purchased it.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have ever bought AirPods or an iPad.
Yeah.
It's an experience. Like, opening it is really, really, truly an experience. Yeah. That's really what we try to model after, is that we want all of our products, when you open it, to be an experience. For it to be something you remember. You might want to keep the box because it's a nice box. And we also want to show the customer that what they're doing at the end of the day, yeah, they bought the product and we're making profit, but you're giving back. And our motto is going to be that we will always have a charity tied to whatever product you buy. You will never buy a product from us that won't have anything giving back to the community.
Interesting.
That's amazing.
So, as entrepreneurs yourself, have you faced any difficulties during the pandemic?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I think one, and me and Anthony, we talk about this all the time, which is kind of like a blessing in disguise because, I mean, as you guys know, following the podcast, we used to record in an office, in a studio before this. And, it was an amazing setup. We loved it. We had guests on all the time. And then obviously due to the pandemic, the building was shut down. We weren't able to record in the studio, in the office. So me and Anthony, we kind of looked at each other like, all right, do we just stop? What do we do? We were kind of just weighing out our options. And then we came across Zoom. We've been using it for a little while, and we're like, why don't we just do Zoom? We kind of took I think it was like 1 week that we just went audio only or something like that. But then the next week we're like, nah, man, we got to get back into it. We started on Zoom. And the reason why I said it's a blessing in disguise is because we can literally have you two, in the comfort of your own home, recording right now. It's a lot harder. Me and Anthony, we've had challenges even before COVID-19 when we would contact guests, hey, you want to come into the office to record? And people would love to, but, unfortunately people are very busy, and right now it was a perfect opportunity to literally have whoever we wanted. Because again, everyone's home, everyone is basically free. That one thing we have an abundance of is time. So we've been able to have plenty of guests during this time, and I think it's paid back to our due diligence of just being innovative and not giving up. Likewise to you guys, and a lot of guests have really been able to benefit our audience and what they've had to say. So I think that's one thing that we've really been able to turn around and use in our favor in light of all this. But Anthony, do you have anything else to add?
Look, it's the same thing we've been talking about. It's just being able to adapt. Like, nobody wants to be in this situation. We would much prefer to be in the office, but it is what it is, right? You have two options at that point. Either you complain and mope about how things aren't the way they used to be, or you adjust and we go on Zoom. We never used it, but we do it. It's just weighing out your options. And we Gabe and I, and you guys also, we don't complain. Obviously, we whatever we're given, we work with it. We make whatever food we have with what we have, right? So it's that attitude that we came into this with. Yeah, things are different. Actually, it might be a little bit better, right? Because we can have a guest from Spain on the podcast right now when before we couldn't. So it actually might be even better than it was before, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I respect so much, is that you guys had a problem and you found a solution, and now your solution ended up being a positive thing. And I'm also wondering how far back was your schedule set back? Because I'm assuming you guys had a lot of problems with your schedule since the studio had to close, etc. So how'd you guys manage your time to adapt?
Gabe, you want to elaborate on that?
Before we even launched our first episode, we probably had about 10 episodes pre-recorded. And we were kind of feeding off that. We would basically kept that, that wave going, and we always were pre-recording. And then the day we found out that the office closed, we're like, all right, now what? We've been pre-recording all this time. We literally had guests scheduled to come in, weeks after, and we basically had to call them up and be like, hey man, would you be open to, going on a Zoom call? And their feedback was, to our surprise, very positive, because again, you're in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to drive anywhere, no traffic, no nothing. That was one of our issues that we were challenged with, because again, with everyone's schedule, it's very hard to get people in the office. But our schedules, to go back to your question, our schedules with, the podcast, not only that, but our personal lives, our school, academic lives, everything was kind of put on hold. And I think right now our schedule, we've been able to, we always talk about, there's a lot of people, in this pandemic that, they wake up at 3:00 in the afternoon, they eat lunch at like 5, they play Xbox till like 3 in the morning. And then, they don't really have a structure. And I think like me and Anthony, we really made it a note in the beginning of this pandemic to really keep our schedules as strict as possible, even as hard as that could be, because again, we're not really going anywhere. We weren't going to school. We weren't going to the office. We weren't meeting anywhere physically, but we had a bunch of meetings on Zoom. We had phone calls. We had guests scheduled. We tried to keep our schedules as strict as possible and as alike as possible with, prior to quarantine. But I think that's basically, what we had to do in order to try to keep everything the same.
Yep. And we always like to ask our guests, what's next, right? I think that's a very important question for our viewers to know. So Sebastian, I'll start with you. What's next for you personally, if you'd like to talk about that, and more specifically, what's next for the company? What can we expect?
Well, obviously, one thing we're working on right now is our business model, and what we're looking at exactly to see is how sustainable is it and how scalable. And that's something that we're working on, trying to figure out to set ourselves up for the future. And I think Hugo can elaborate a little better than I can on scaling up for our next product.
So I always think to myself, I like to watch Elon Musk a lot because he's a very big auto man. And he made a very interesting question in this video I watched. And it's like 300 years ago, if you would have said people would have been flying, you would have gotten killed. So you should always think to yourself, what can I invent to solve problems? People might think you're crazy, and you just have to keep going. So a product that we have in mind that we are trying to release, we feel like it will be something very big and will put us on the map. And we are very excited. The ultimate picture of Novus X would be an e-commerce platform in which people apply, kind of like Amazon, except we get to choose who sells on our platform. And we decide, is your product innovative enough and impactful enough to sell on our platform? And that's the ultimate picture. But
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm just a little curious. Have you guys gotten any hate, if you will, from people for starting this business? Anybody saying, oh, that's not going to work, or you guys are stupid, or something like that?
I wouldn't say we've gotten hate. We've gotten a lot of support, but there has been one opinion that has been very discouraging. But like I said, we don't even care. We're going to keep going. We don't really care what anyone thinks. Because if you do care, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah. So anyway, the next product we have in mind, we really feel like it has to be something, or it will be something that really has to make an impact. Yeah, the case is cool, but I feel like we could go bigger. And I feel like we will get that done. So we are very, very excited to release that product, hopefully before August. Like I said, it takes a lot of time for product research. Me and Sebastian have both a lot of all-nighters, just literally just searching up products. How can we make the product better, etc. And I'm very, very excited for what's to come for the company.
That's awesome. I mean, me and Anthony, such an honor just to be a part of this whole journey. Me and Anthony, we always talk about the end goal. It's fun and, it's nice and everything once you get to the top. But the journey, this right here, what we're both going through, that's what we live for. That's the fun in it. You know, we talk on an example of Gary Vee. You know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, but that's, you know, a mentor of ours, and something that he said in an interview. And his, you know, his lifetime goal is to buy the New York Jets. So he's like, the New York Jets, the day I buy the New York Jets, that's going to be one of the happiest days, but also one of the saddest days of my life. And I mean, the first time I heard that, I was a little shocked. But again, it goes to show that what he said was, the next thing he said was, because yes, I'll have accomplished my goal, but the journey to get there will be over, you know? And that's what entrepreneurs every day, that's what they wake up for, the journey, the grind, the hustle. That's what, you know, all four of us have in common, that we can wake up early in the morning and really get after it. You know, so me and Anthony, we're both so, you know, so honored to be part of this journey with Novus X, with Hugo and Sebastian. You guys have, you know, extraordinary future ahead of you. We can't wait to see your next product. We have no idea what it is. For all you guys listening, we're super psyched just to have been able to have the case. Me and Anthony, we both have it. It's amazing. Again, just a little shout out there. If you guys are interested in getting that, link in our bio. We're going to drop the link in our bio of our Instagram, of our YouTube channel. Use the discount code Mindset Podcast in all caps to get 10% off. And again, this is not only a product, this is a message. This is you know, an organization doing something bigger than profit. You know, every case purchased is 7 meals given to those less fortunate. So I really encourage everyone listening, go ahead, go get a case. You'll be doing yourself a favor. You'll be keeping yourself healthy, clean, and you'll be helping out our community. But without further ado, thank you so much, Hugo. Thank you so much, Sebastian, for being on. We can't wait to see what's next for you. But
yeah, it was an honor. And we're a big fan of you guys, so it was an honor to be on this podcast.
Appreciate it, brother. By the way, Father's Day is coming up. This will be a tremendous Father's Day gift. Don't forget about that. Use the coupon code. Love you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate it. Much love.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us.
of course.